watching Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Valerie Tysander. Alexa Olson is off tonight.
And I'm Jeff Androlonis. Good Friday evening. The big story tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. A meth lab bust in the town of Allegheny. The Southern Tier Regional Drug Task Force and New York State Police spent the early afternoon removing hazardous material from this house after a meth lab was discovered last night. 3 people are now jailed in lieu of bail after members of the task force raided the house. Now, 3 other people were in the house during the raid, but were not taken into custody.
In the upstairs, we found where a lab is being put together. They have all the precursors for making methamphetamines, and the process has actually started. They haven't completed the process, but a lot of the stuff in there is hazardous materials. So basically, we go in and we mitigate the area where the lab is.
We have 3 individuals that were arrested and arraigned before the Honorable Lance Brennan, the Village of Allegheny Justice. Those 3 individuals are being held in the Cattaraugus County Jail in lieu of bail.
One-pot method, they call it. They were not completed with this process of it. With the one-pot method, you don't get a huge yield of methamphetamine, so you're not making, a ton of it to sell to tons of people. Usually it's me and my friends.
We're sure there's more meth labs within Allegheny and Cattaraugus County.
Now, police tonight tell WVTT it's all part of an ongoing investigation, and they say to expect several more busts in Allegheny in the near future. Valerie?
Well, Jeff, on a different note, the lawyer who's representing Paul Seglia, if you remember, he's a Wellsville native who's suing Facebook. Well, his lawyer says he wants off the case, but a judge is denying his request. Ohio attorney Dean Boland asked to be taken off his case, and originally he said his reasons for withdrawal were private, but a court hearing revealed that it's because he's afraid for his life. A federal judge in Buffalo denied his withdrawal. Seglia has told the court that a federal fraud charges, those are the ones that have been levied against him, they're a result of intimidation as well. His lawsuit claims he had a contract with Mark Zuckerberg that promised him half ownership of Facebook.
A battle between nonprofit organizations and the city of Bradford may be brewing. Last year, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court revoked nonprofit status for a group in Pike County and created a judicial litmus test. The Pennsylvania General Assembly has a 5-pronged test for nonprofits who don't want to have to pay property taxes. City governments are looking to cash in. According to an article in the Bradford Era, the city of Bradford has about $183 million worth of property on the tax rolls, but another $85 million is tax exempt. That means 31% of properties in Bradford aren't paying property taxes. The city of Pittsburgh is trying to remove tax-exempt status from healthcare giant UPMC, so this is a problem all over the state. Warren County has reportedly pulled tax-exempt status from Warren General Hospital, the Warren County YMCA, as well as Habitat for Humanity.
Well, in New York, their budget is getting approved this week. It's a $135 budget deal, and it includes a multi-year step up to a $9 minimum wage, and it includes monies to extend the hours of the school day and the length of the school year. It also offers merit pay for the best teachers in the state.
No students were hurt when a box truck in Ellicottville hit a school bus. It happened yesterday morning. Police tell WVTT that box truck was driven by Jeffrey Cohen of Franklinville, and it rear-ended the bus. He was trapped in the truck and freed by the fire department and then treated for a leg injury. Now, police tell WVTT Cohen was following the bus too closely in that accident in Ellicottville.
An elder woman is being accused of attacking an emergency worker in Port Allegheny. Port Allegheny police say they were called earlier this month to respond to a psychological emergency at an apartment in the borough. When they arrived, they say Tina Raynard started fighting with emergency workers, and then court documents say she grabbed one of the workers' genitals and squeezed and twisted them. Once she was secured on the stretcher, she then allegedly bit the arm of another worker when he tried to sedate her. The incident happened March 2nd, but Raynard was arraigned yesterday and then released on $10,000 bail.
An inmate at the Attica State Prison has been found dead. 31-year-old Craig Ingersoll found hanging in his cell. Now, 6 years ago, he was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for strangling, raping, and killing a woman in Utica. He was arrested and charged in September of 2011 after investigators matched the DNA in the case.
Well, 2 young children have died from beating in the past few weeks, and apparently they share some common roots. That's according to a program director at Child and Adolescent Treatment Services. Stephen Perkowski says that frustration and narrow thinking have a lot to do with this kind of assault. And one of those killed a toddler in Branton, New York 2 weeks ago, and another one for a 1-year-old child this week. Perkowski says that another similarity is both the young men who were accused of striking and killing those children were not the actual fathers. That means there may not be the kind of strong emotional ties that produce the desire to protect and care for the children.
A nurse in Jamestown has been charged with stealing prescription pads. Police tell WVTT 46-year-old Samuelin Olson is facing 17 counts of illegally distributing painkillers through fraud and forgery. Olson was working as a nurse at the VA outpatient clinic in Jamestown.
A Blasdell, New York man is now facing charges after allegedly attacking a male nurse in the drug unit at Bradford Regional Medical Center. Court records say 26-year-old Robert Williams had been checked into the MICA unit when he burst through the gated entrance to the nurse's station and began choking a nurse, knocking him onto the floor, and then scratching and striking him. Williams was sent to jail in lieu of $30,000 bail.
The National Rifle Association is taking up a lawsuit along with the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association and other sportsmen's groups, firearms businesses, and gun owners against the state of New York and the New York SAFE Act. The federal suit filed in Buffalo challenges the New York SAFE Act, charging that it violates the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. Now, 2 of the law's provisions are targeted by the lawsuit: a lower limit on magazine capacity and the assault weapons ban, which includes several popular and formerly legal semi-automatic weapons. The law was pushed through on January 15th by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. It was the first gun law passed after the December 14th massacre at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut.
Well, it's been cold outside, but Foster Township is getting heated up, and that's over changes to the sewer system. The Department of Environmental Protection is issuing Act 537. It requires upgrades to the sewer system in a number of homes in outlying parts of the township which were not on the sewer system. Well, now they may be required to spend money to connect to that system. 335 households are impacted, to be exact. Many of those residents don't want that. Meetings over the past several months have had a lot of disgruntled public comments.
An agriculture forum this week, sponsored by the Cat County Ag and Farmland Protection Board. They met in the Great Valley Town Hall. The meeting gathered public concerns about the diminishing agricultural industry in Cattaraugus County. They say new technology and fewer people interested in small family farming could put the industry locally in jeopardy.
Authorities say an Olean man is now facing felony larceny and welfare fraud charges. 33-year-old Jess Connor is accused of collecting daycare assistance funds after he was no longer employed. Authorities say he claimed $1,400 to which he wasn't entitled. In addition to that, he collected other benefits that he received while improperly reporting his income.
Well, never mind that we are several days into spring and we still have significant snowfall accumulations. Bradford lost to Caribou, Maine overnight in the Weather Channel's annual survey of toughest weather city. This is the second year the Weather Channel has run a bracket-style competition simultaneously with the NCAA's March Madness College Basketball Tournament. In the second round of voting, which closed last night, Bradford lost to Caribou, Maine 51% to 49%. Last year, Bradford took second place in the nation. Only Fargo, North Dakota was judged to have tougher weather. Well, coming up on Twin Tiers Evening News, we'll have our first look at weather, and it's still a little on the tough side. We'll have details straight ahead. Also coming up, WVTT's Information Overload, and I'll have a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street. Here on Twin Tiers Evening News on News Channel 25, WVTT, depend on it.